This is the digital portrait project. I'm going to show you how to do it. First thing is open up Photoshop, and under Window, make sure your History, Layers, Tools are all checked. If they're not, check them. Next thing, you're going to go to Google and you're going to find a picture of a person you want to do for the digital portrait. As a heads up, the more close up the photo is, the better it will come out. I'm going to choose Lizzo, and remember, when you find the picture you like, to click on it first so it's nice and large, and then you drag by click, hold, drag, drop to the desktop, and once it's on the desktop, then when it's closed, there it is on the desktop, you drag it into Photoshop. If it's a WebP, you'll have to take a screenshot of it because WebPs do not drag. So I took a screenshot, there's Lizzo, and I hit return to make the X go away. Next thing I'm going to do, in the layers, you're going to click on the options. Under layers, you're going to click on opacity and turn it down so it's faded. You can see Lizzo's faded. Just use that slide bar to make it a little bit softer. Then, once you've done that, you're going to make a new layer. Layer, new layer. And now I am on my new layer. Really important, make sure you're on a new layer on top of the photo. Make sure you are not selected on the photo itself, okay? Super important. If you look at my layers, you can see that I'm on the top layer, which is blank. That's where you want to be. Do not draw on the image. Okay, now I'm going to Command plus to zoom in, and using a really small paintbrush, color black, I'm going to trace. Just a couple of pointers. I would make sure that your color is black. Use the tools to select your color. The upper left square is the color. Choose a small brush. I'm choosing size 3. And don't worry if you make mistakes. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then to zoom in, which you're going to want to do, it'll come out much better. You hit Command plus, and that will zoom in. And that way you can do an up close of the eyes and the nose and the mouth. And I will show you how that looks. So Command plus, the command on the keyboard and the plus on the keyboard, you hit them. And every time you hit it, it zooms in. And you can go the other way by doing Command minus. So zoom in using Command plus. Now I can really see her face. And you notice the nose. The nose is probably the hardest thing to do. What you want to do with the nose is just trace the nostrils and the outline. Just the way I'm doing it, and that's really all you need. Next, I'm going to do the eyelashes, and I'm going to speed this up because it's about a 20-minute project at least, so you can see it in high speed. Now, what you want to do is click the little eyeball next to the image, and you'll see that you can shut it off. That eyeball next to the image layer, that's almost like an on-off switch, and when you click it off, you can see your progress, and then you can just click the eyeball again, and it will turn back on. Okay, now we're going to talk about skin color. So what you want to do really is make a new layer, new layer, and the reason for that is because we don't want to draw over those black lines, the lines that we outlined. So watch me make a new layer, new layer. So I go up to layer, and I do new layer, and there's my new layer, and I'm going to drag it underneath the original layer where I drew. That way when I do the coloring part, it's going to be under the black lines. So I'm on that new blank layer, and I'm going to go to the eyedropper tool, and I'm going to pick up the color of her skin. Now, really important, the original image layer, make sure that its opacity is at 100%. You want to get the full color, okay? So click on the layer with the image, turn the opacity to 100%, go back to this new layer you've got. use the eyedropper tool to pick up the color. So I pick it up, and then I go to the paintbrush and I brush that area. Okay, and then I go back to a different area that's a different color, and I use the eyedropper tool to pick it up, and you can see the progress that's going. And remember, when you look at someone's skin, there's different, your skin is different colors. Your face, if you look, her cheeks are darker, the light is reflecting on her nose and her forehead. So you have all these different patches of different colors. So you want to do little by little, use the eyedropper tool, pick up the color, and then go back to the paintbrush and color that in. And I'm going to speed this part up. Okay, so now I shut the eyeball off the regular image, and by doing that, I can see my progress. Now you can see it's very patchy. That's okay. What I'm going to do is use my eyedropper tool and pick up the colors of the patches and just fill it in. And I'm going to speed this up so you'll see, you'll watch me do it in high speed. And I like to, every so often, turn the eyeball on next to the original image just to kind of get a feel for the colors, and then I shut it off. You can also use the smudge tool. There is a smudge tool if you want to use it to kind of blend or smudge the colors together. You could also paint a solid background or put an image as a background, whatever you want. Remember to Shift Command 4 when you're finished and put it in your Google Drive. If you're not done, just do a file, save as, save it on the desktop, and put it in your desktop folder.